And finally, we have the annual final report. The final report also has the month 10 and 11 and 12 reports. And it's the annual report, so it will be a summary of the whole year. And we will also be working on some national participation. This one's more related to the agriculture and the precision agriculture topics, and of course the breadboard assembly. So, as we mentioned in the proposal, it is not expected to have a fully working breadboard assembly. We rather want to test particularly all the subsystems well before doing that.
One of the things that we're going to ask for, somewhere between QPR 3 and QPR and QPR 4, is what are the plans for phase 2? And we'll talk about this some more. So we need to understand, because we need to put a proposal back into IEEE so we get the funding for phase 2.
Okay, so we also have a question about that on the technology transition plan.
Yes.
5 of the outline. It's like when can we start doing that transition plan particularly? Because we wanted to have the final QPR dedicated to that next step on the next phase. We had particularly some questions on how it is expected. So that's why we in the schedule have like these activities on the final quarter, waiting for that, and also waiting for opportunities. Also in the budget, we have a space for getting a visitor that could come to Unicauca and establish relationships and know more about that possibility of integrating with the industry.
And we'll work with you on that.
Yeah, sure.
I don't expect the answer today.
Okay. Tus más
He's good
preguntas.
at sending questions to me.
Several questions. Mari pregunta si cómo sería la parte de integración con la industria y cómo sería el paso a la siguiente fase. Nosotros pues sí teníamos algunas inquietudes de cómo hacer el plan de transición de tecnología, entonces pues la respuesta no es esperar que la tengamos hoy, sino que podamos irla trabajando, y para eso nosotros dejamos como un espacio en el cronograma. Hay menos actividades en este cuarto final y se deja una parte del presupuesto particularmente para posibles visitas que tengamos a la Unicauca. So if we continue.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Primero digo en español y I try to take to in English. Las universidades tienen una oficina de transferencia de resultados de la tecnología. No sé si aquí en esta universidad lo hay, pero casi todas las universidades tienen una oficina de transferencia de resultados de la tecnología. Entonces lo que el doctor Davis está preguntando al compañero de la Universidad del Cauca es cuáles van a ser los pasos entre la fase 3 y 4 para que ese resultado de esa investigación sea incorporado a la industria. En este caso, pues, como es una aplicación en agricultura, pues la idea es que no se quede como un proyecto académico, sino que se vuelva un proyecto funcional. Here in Colombia, we have an office to transfer the results of their research from universities to the industry field.
Right.
It's not easy process. It's hard because the rise of the authorized with the copyright process, who decide the result of the research and the property, these rights. So I understand him that they are trying to talk with industrial organizations in Barranquilla, in Medellín, and Cali. Medellín, okay. Big cities in Colombia, so I hope they are looking forward to transfer the result of this research.
Let me answer the question, because I've discussed that with IEEE. briefly, this is an education program. We are giving you all of our presentations that we give you are in the open literature. There's no proprietary information in there at all. So you can use anything that we give you in these presentations in terms of developing. We want to encourage the universities and the industry to take that knowledge and at that point in time, if they have something that is proprietary, we're not going to be asking for them to give us that back, proprietary. So what we really want to do is we don't want to have proprietary rights in the things that we're developing under this grant.
They are open source.
So it's all open source. And so otherwise, and when I would work in our government, I would have universities or companies that said the work that, even though I was paying them, they would say, well, that's our proprietary. And it made it very difficult to transition that technology. So the people in IEEE are very clear, this is open source. You had asked that question once and I hadn't answered it. But I think we want to encourage, for both Calca and Cusco, we want to have the knowledge of what we're developing on this grant. We encourage you to work with industry, and they can put up their own money. If they put their own money into it and transition it, then we have no problems with that at all.
Thank you.
And I think we'll have more discussions on that.
Sure. I will explain in Spanish. Yes. Mark se refiere a que lo que sea temas de propiedad, temas propietarios para transición de la tecnología, son completamente abiertos. Se espera entonces que IEEE espera que podamos hacer uso completo de ese conocimiento y hacer uso para, bueno, unas posibilidades pueden ser abrir empresa o que ya nos apropiemos, que digamos tomemos la batuta del college para seguir ese tipo de proyectos por nuestra cuenta. Entonces es completamente open source, es completamente abierto a nuestras posibilidades. Entonces de aquí pueden salir oportunidades de emprendimiento, pueden salir oportunidades de investigación mucho más profundas. Actually, some of our interest is to begin a business with this kind of opportunities, you know, to create employments.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for the question. So in the budget, we can summarize the whole budget into these topics. The components, the cost components out of the shell will be summarizing at $3,000. We particularly wanted to use more of the budget for the business, you know, to get more education and more knowledge from participants. Of course, some of these expectations could change all the time, as it happens with any project. But particularly, we were getting some multispectral cameras, LiDAR for navigation, GPS, motors, flight controllers, and other things that are used in the platforms and in the sensor payloads. Also telecommunications, I forgot to mention there, for the data links. The visits will comprehend academy and industry participants. We're going to explain more the next presentation and the next slide. And the admin cost is summarized $3,500.
That's 8% in Colombia.
Yeah, it's 8% plus some taxes. Those taxes are between, it could be as low as 0, those kind of taxes, to 4%. Sure. So, and also shippings, what we consider into the administrative cost. So everything summarizes $25,000 roughly. Por mencionar el tema de presupuesto, tendremos la primera parte que son los componentes tipo COTS, que significaría como componentes comerciales out of the shell. Y pues dentro de algunos componentes estarían cámaras multiespectrales, sensores tipo LiDAR para navegación, GPS, motores, controladores de vuelo y otros elementos que se suelen utilizar en las plataformas tipo dron. Asimismo, tendríamos una prioridad para la parte de las visitas de $18,000 para visitas a participantes de la academia y de la industria que hemos venido mencionando y que mencionaré a continuación con más detalle. Finalmente hay unos gastos administrativos. Para IEEE Colombia es 8% del monto que ingresa a la cuenta bancaria, entonces son costos de bancos, banking, y asimismo hay pues, costos de impuestos, lo que es el ICA, retefuente y bueno, otras cosas, y el IVA y otro tipo de elementos que vemos en Colombia, y asimismo consideramos entre los costos administrativos la parte de los envíos, como para contener un poco el riesgo de cualquier gasto inesperado, sobre todo de hardware que tengamos que traer de otro país. Todo eso suma en total los $25,000 para los entregables que habíamos mencionado, el PDL, el reporte anual y pues, el ensamblaje de un report. So everything on this will summarize the delivery of the PDR, the annual report, the monthly reports, the breadboard assembly, and of course the relations and all the evidence that we gather from those relationships with the academy and industry participants.
We're going to want to talk to you more. I realize that you were under pressure to give us the statement of work and the budget proposal before we came to this meeting. So, but I think that you're very, very heavy on visits, very light in terms of materials, but we will work with you over the next month or so until we get a plan that makes sense. But this is satisfactory for IEEE to get you started.
Thank you. Entonces menciona Mark que de pronto está muy